Awesome. Looks like I am live. Okay. All right. Hello everyone. Welcome and welcome back to Shuja's Chronicles. I'm doing one of my random live videos right here. Because I did not have time to like shoot a video last week to upload this week, and I was like, ooh, don't go a week without posting. So yeah, I'm doing a live video, and if anybody joins while I'm doing this, awesome. And if nobody does, that is absolutely fine. You can watch after I am done. Um, so, in today's video, I am going to be talking about how to secure funding after you've gotten admission because I know a lot of, not, don't let me say a lot, like a number of people have reached out to me recently and they're like, oh, yes, I've gotten admission, right? But I do not have funding. So, what can you do, right? So, I'm going to be telling you or sharing some tips with you on how to get funding after admission, right? So one of the first things that I advise folks to do after they've gotten admission but no funding is to actually reach out to their program coordinator or admissions contacts, basically wherever you've been in communication with throughout this whole process. Reach out to them and find out if there are any available opportunities for you to apply to, or perhaps maybe there might still be open uh, assistantship opportunities or scholarships that you can actually apply to. And I'm actually going to check out open my let me check open my email to give you an example of like an email that I that you can share. One sec. So let me get to my sent. This was actually recent. I shared it with someone, right? And I was like, where is it? Okay, so after they've gotten the email from like the program coordinator, so like the graduate director of the program, that they've gotten admitted into the program. Welcome. We look forward to you enrolling. All those, yada yada yada. This person's response was like, "Thank you very much. This is exciting news, and I look forward to the journey ahead and being a part of the 2024 blah 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 cohort." Um, I have a quick question. I was wondering if there are still any available graduate assistantship positions I could be considered for or could even apply to. Perhaps there are any, oh, yeah, I think there's an area. Or are there any scholarship opportunities you are aware of I could still apply to? I truly appreciate any insight or information you can provide. Thank you. Sincerely, the person's name. So that is an approach you could take. So you could just be like, oh yes, and if it's not like the program coordinator you're responding to, if it's like a new person you're reaching out to, you could just be like, hello, my name is XYZ. I was recently admitted into the, let's say, sociology graduate program or sociology master's program. And I was wondering if there are any funding opportunities I could apply to, or if there's any available funding opportunities. So, and then you had whatever you want to add and go from there. So that's a way you can try to find out if there's still any open funding opportunities you can apply to. So essentially asking like the admissions contact or your program coordinator, graduate program coordinator, if you're still being considered for funding or if there's any open opportunities you can apply to, or if they know of anything in other departments you can potentially apply to. I know this looks differently for every institution. Some schools will put it out there that, oh, they offer funding with admission. And once you're not offered funding, there are no other opportunities. But I don't also want you to limit yourself to that, because there are sometimes schools have administrative assistantship positions that you could actually apply to that are with other departments, which leads me to the next point, right? You can look into other offices on campus or other department on campus and find out if they have other opportunities like administrative assistantships. I just mentioned that earlier, right? So an administrative assistantship is like essentially the way I would describe it is like you're assisting with administrative duties or administrative tasks of that particular office or department. So it could include like scheduling online meetings, managing the calendar of like certain people, or certain professionals in the department, managing various documents, fulfilling inventory requests. It could be like you're managing events. Every administrative assistantship would definitely look differently. You might be supporting students in certain tasks. For instance, now maybe an administrative assistant with like a graduate assistant with like an admissions office. You might be fielding like students' requests, students' inquiries about being admitted. You might be picking up phone calls. You might even be organizing admission orientation sessions for prospective students. So everything looks differently, and there's no one way. So I don't want you to think about administrative assistantship, in terms of like, oh, you're just doing admin tasks. Like, you can be a graduate assistant with like the housing office. You can be with the admissions office, with the student multicultural center, with even a particular department, a particular academic department. Maybe they even have a research department. It could be like a graduate assistant for a particular research department, but doing something different, not necessarily research, right? So you can look into other offices or departments on campus, and sometimes you find that schools would even have pages. So they have their career center page, or even like apps like Handshake, where they post opportunities like this. So for instance, now once you get admitted, typically you get like a student number, or so like a student ID number and your email, and you can register on the app that I was talking about, like Handshake. You can register on Handshake to in order to be able to access like various opportunities. So you can take advantage of that. Try and register on there. Sometimes the school might need to approve you, but still go ahead with that. And once you try to register, like, and the approval is really easy peasy, and then you can now apply for like certain student job opportunities, like assistantships on there. That's how some schools do it. And for some, they have like a career page where they post all of these opportunities that you can actually apply to. And all you just have to do is I guess just check the opportunities, see if there are any open opportunities that you can take advantage of and apply for that. So another thing, like I said, is just to check other offices or department and see if they have opportunities that you can take advantage of. So what else? Okay, then I also talked about like how you could check their student job posting page, or like their career center page, or apps like Handshake. I don't know what other apps that schools use. I'm sure there are other ones, but like these are the ones that actually come to mind that I've seen a lot of schools utilize. So definitely take advantage of that. Another thing would be to check if there are any internal scholarships you can apply for. So sometimes with schools, like after you apply for admission, then you cannot apply for certain scholarships. Now, these scholarships can even be as low as $1,000, $2,000. But if there are no restrictions on if you can combine the scholarships, I don't see why you can't apply to them and take advantage of these little scholarships, right? And by the time you stack them, they might be substantial enough to cover majority of tuition. So you see some schools that we have, oh, welcome scholarships for international students, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And then your department might have certain scholarships like, oh, graduate student scholarship, $1,000. Or maybe I don't know, something academic achievement scholarships, $3,000. If there are no restrictions on you being able to stack them, or you being able to combine them with other scholarship opportunities, I don't see why you cannot take advantage of it and just go ahead and apply for the scholarship. So things to check: internal scholarship opportunities, and see if there are any internal scholarships you can apply for within the school, within a particular department. It could be within your department, within the college, within the school. Take advantage of that. And outside of internal scholarships, there are also external scholarships. So you can look into external scholarships awarded by various organizations. So it could be your specific country. Sometimes some countries try to encourage exchange of ideas. They want their citizens to, like, I guess, gain a different perspective. So they have like certain government scholarships offered to citizens of those particular countries to study abroad. You can look into that, or you can look into organizations. So there are various organizations out there that actually provide like funding opportunities for students to take advantage of and study abroad in a different country. You can take advantage of that as well. You have association scholarships. One thing that I always encourage folks to do is like go online. You can literally type scholarships for women in pharmacy, scholarships for women in I guess English. I know I've done this before, and to my surprise, like I saw a number of scholarships that I could actually apply for, even as an international student, that I was eligible for, because the scholarships did not have restriction on the citizenship. Now, I know some of the scholarships might have restrictions on citizenship, right? But that's why you don't just stop on the first page or on the second page. You continue to do a deep dive. Don't stop on that page one of the Google search or which other search engines, even if it's Bing. Like, don't stop on that page one. Go to page two, go to page three, scroll to page four, page five. Like, just keep scrolling. You never can tell what opportunity you will come across. Because there are a lot of associations, even like professional associations that offer maybe certain scholarships. Now, the scholarships might be like, oh, $5,000 to support a particular student who is interested in a particular research area, or you've gotten admission, or maybe you're from a low income background, you got an admission to an institution and you just need extra support. Some institutions, some organizations, or professional associations would actually provide scholarships to students. So definitely look into that. I know like there are even some, I don't know if it's like for I don't want to, is it like for fellowship or scholarship for MBA students? I hope I'm right. Like that's like an example of what I'm talking about, right? Also, like there could be like program based, so your field, right? Like there could be certain scholarships to support students in your field. So that's why I encourage people, like, don't just stick with like, oh, the school, I'm so focused on the school. Look into, broaden your search, look into external scholarships that you can actually take advantage of. Could be government, could be like a specific organization, could be like an association, just trying to support students from low income background, trying to support students in a particular field, trying to support a particular research endeavor, or just even try to support students in general. So that's another thing that you can take advantage of. So just summarily, I've talked about like reaching out to your admissions contact, your program director, check out like students job posting page for the institution that you apply to, or look into other offices or departments, reach out to folks out there. Another thing you can do is another thing I feel like you could do is maybe you could go on LinkedIn. And I know this has worked for some people, right? Like they go on LinkedIn, they check and see if there's current students in that school who perhaps might have insights into like fund other ways they can get funding. Because like the best person to get information from are people who are currently attending those institutions, right? Are people in the program, so you can always take advantage of that. If you're unable to connect with somebody, you can always reach out back to the program director and be like, hello, I would like to see if I could be connected with a current student. I would love to get more insight into the institution, and perhaps they might be willing to connect you with like a specific student ambassador and all of that. I know that now I realize that I'm talking more towards graduate students. So sorry for if you're an undergraduate students watching this. A lot of time my mindset is really geared towards graduate students at first. And then I realized I'm like, ooh, I have undergraduate students who watch this channel as well. So, but I think all of these things apply except for like the assistantship part. And if you're an undergraduate student watching this live, have a resource that you can utilize. You can check my latest video, the last video, which is like making to college a complete guide for international students. That's a great resource that can actually help you find funding, secure funding. And I know the scholarship aspect I talked to about, or the scholarship aspect, external scholarships and internal scholarships, they would also apply to you as well. The only part that will not apply to you will be the graduate assistantship aspect. So yeah, so definitely like try to connect with current students in your program, or at the institution level that would be able to like guide you and be like, okay, this is like these are the resources that you can utilize, or this is the step you can take. And sometimes they tell you that, oh, even after your first semester there might be more funding available that you can actually apply for. So if you're able to, I guess, get yourself through that first semester, you might be able to get funding for the remaining semesters on campus. Now, of course, you want to be careful if you are doing that and you know that it's going to be difficult, because unless there's something in writing, there's no guarantee about anything. So yeah, but overall, those are like the tips I have for those trying to get funding after they've gotten admission and the admission did not come with funding. Excuse me, I'm about to cough. I think that's what happens when you've like talked a lot and then you're trying to talk and for some reason you start coughing. But I know there's not a lot of people on the live right now. I'll just probably give it about like 2 minutes or 3 minutes if anyone has any questions. Before I leave and sign out. This was supposed to be like a very short live video on tips, yeah, or steps you can take to secure funding after getting admission. So I'll wait about 1 or 2 minutes, and if there's no one, I'll sign out. Or if there are no questions, I'll sign out of the live. Hello, Glory Kenneth. I can see a chat. Do you have a question for me or no? Yeah, I hope you're doing good. Oh, okay, you have a question, yeah? Go ahead. I'm reading it. You can type it in the chat. I think I like live videos. I might be doing more of this because I can just come on here and talk. Like I don't have to worry about editing anything. This is a very good question. As an undergrad that has been getting partial scholarships, how do I get a fully funded scholarship? Okay, I feel like there are multiple layers to this because I need to holistically like know what your profile is like before I provide more. But I will answer this question generally because it might not be comfortable like sharing details about like your academic profile year. I know even with international students, a lot of times, like what for undergraduate international students, a lot of times, like they seem to be getting partial funding, right? But they don't end up getting that fully funded scholarship, and that's because those scholarships are quite competitive, especially if they are based on academics. So you're competing with a lot of other students who have like I guess who have attained certain academic achievements. So one thing I would say is like take a look at your application materials. Um your resume. So I don't know if you've been submitting like materials like resume, like personal statements. I want you to take a deep dive at it, take a look at it. So your extracurriculars, like what are those what are you writing on there, because I think those things really help people stand out, so they take a look at like your experience. I know, yes, maybe you just graduated high school or you graduated high school a while back and you're like, oh, what can I put on here, right? So take a deep look at what is on your resume right now, then go online and try to check for like resume samples of people that have gotten scholarship opportunities as undergraduate students. And that's why I would say also take a look at that what's it called, the complete guide, my last video, or just go on my on the website. You'll be able to download it under the toolkit page, because the person that wrote that book actually got a scholarship. So take a look at your materials, your personal statement, what you're writing. Like, do you want to review it? Maybe you want to like revamp it a little bit to give you a better edge. And also your academic. That's why I said like I can't fully answer this particular question. Excuse me, please. Yeah. Now that you've answered this question, yeah, that could be something as well. You graduated from high school in 2014, so they don't really believe that you're just starting your first degree. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know why I'm coughing. I don't know why I am coughing right now. And I have water right here, but yeah, that could be another aspect. Yeah, that's why I asked like about your profile. Like I can't fully answer the question until I know um more about your profile. But we can always talk more. Have you yeah. You know what? You can send me a message on Instagram at IE Chronicles and I would respond when I see the message. That way, because I don't want you to put all your details out yet, because I have more questions. So you can send a message on Instagram, and once I get on there, because I have somebody else handling the page, but I would respond once I log into Instagram, probably later today or tomorrow. That way, all your like personal profile is not like on here on YouTube, if that works for you. Um, yeah, like what platforms are you on? You know, if you're not on Instagram, like what platform are you on? You can send an email as well. So email is info at IE Chronicles. Yeah, .com. Yeah, you can send an email to that email as well. So, or if you go on the website, like there's a contact me form. One sec, let me see if I can no one to I'm just gonna go right there and put it. Um yeah, but have you gotten a first degree before, or this is like the very first degree you'll be pursuing? Let's put a contact me page. Yeah, you can just use the contact form as well. I will just paste it here. Okay. Yeah. I put a link in the chat. You can use that as well if and just send. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Then we can chat more that way. Because I feel like all the questions I'll be asking, they're going to be more profile specific, and in order to be able to actually answer this question adequately. And sometimes, having all your information out there is not it's not the best. Because personally, myself, I'm more of a private person, so I usually like err on the side of caution when it comes to like answering certain questions, and I know some people don't care. They'll put everything out there. But personally, I'm more like on the private-ish side. So, but does any other person have any other general questions I could answer before I sign out? Awesome. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, feel free to reach out. I'll check because I do have to head out like soon. But later tonight when I get back home, or tomorrow, I would respond once I get your message. Okay, all right. If there are no other questions, I'm gonna sign out of here, and perhaps next time I do a live video, I would like just put it in the community page, like, oh, I'll be doing a live video on so topic soon. But I think I do enjoy these random live videos, and I'll probably do more of it. All right, take care. Bye. Okay.